Or Little Deer comes with a powerful animation engine, and you right click to play the animations. You right click on the deer, and you have, when you click it, menu appears, and you have two options. One is settings, and once you adjust the position of the deer, let's say right, left, and then rotate as you like. If you are happy with the position, you press get position, and it records its position and rotation. If you have any glitches and any problems, most of the time if you press reset, it will fix the problem. But if you press reset, you have to press the get position again, so that it would record the position again. So I'll just go back to the original position. If you go back, then you have animations in here, and just go walk. Play the next animation, you go animation and walk and look around. Touch again, animation, eating. Touch again, animation, and idle. Touch again, animation, and we'll go run. And run didn't work, probably we put the wrong animation name in there, so actually that's a good way of troubleshooting live if you experience this same problem. So I'm just going to edit, go to contents. When you go to contents, you have a file called config file, and you just double click on it, you open it. The first one in here is the channel name. Channel name is the channel. You can call the menu by type in /82 menu, and then the menu appears. So you have two ways of calling the menu: either right click and touch, or type in /82 and menu. You can change the channel name to anything you like, any number in here you like, as long as it doesn't clash with any other channel or with any other script. I'll just close these things again. So the other one is public. Public means if you want everybody to be able to touch this and play the animations, then you set it to public. If not, you set it to owner in here. So you have two options, public and owner. So many names, you can add more than one menu in here. That means if you touch and call the menu in here, so you have two menus in here. One is animation and settings. Settings is only visible to you and the owner, and others won't see that if you set this to public. And if you had another animation in here, let's say the stories, so it will appear in here. The stories will appear in here. So at the moment we'll just leave it to one animation, one menu in here. Okay, the other one is the menu one, which is in this case the animation, and if you add if there was a story, then that would be the menu too. And the button is the walk in that case, and we'll touch again, animations. Let's say what we write in here will appear in here. So if you write walk, it will appear in here. So if the animation itself doesn't have a loop inside as default, you can loop it still in here by putting the number of seconds, like how long should it wait before the next loop starts. In that case, Deer Walk already has a built-in loop inside, so we don't need any waiting time, so it is 0. And for this to work, for looping to work, you need to set this to on. In that case, again, we don't need it, so it is off. So set position, rotation, you can actually set this manually. You can get this information from here, the information in here, and or you can as we did in the beginning, if you want all the animation to run on the same place, you just right click, touch settings, and then set position, so it will be automatically taken if there's no value in here. If you want that particular animation to play somewhere else, let's say in here, then you put the position and rotation of values in here. Position and rotation values are vectorial values. That means you have to write them in brackets, for example, in that format, and like 10, 0, 256, 0, and 78.0. So it has to be in that format. The rotation is a vectorial value as well, so it has to be the same format as well. So you get those values and put them in the brackets, separating them by comma. Pathfinder means if you, like when we touch the walk animation, it played on the same spot. If you want your deer walk around and not play on the same spot but walk around, so then you set this to on. In that case, we'll set it to on, so to see how it works. So you have two options, on and off. If you set this to on, then you have another two options in here. So one is random, other one is custom. So I'll just say start with custom, how you set the custom. Custom means you set the path yourself. I just put this aside so I can show it to you. So you can have one box in here, and then one box in here, and then one box in here. So you want your, let's say, your deer to travel from here to here to there, here, and then and back again. So in that case, you get the value of this, which is in here, the position values of the here, and you put the these values between brackets. In that case, let's say I'll just go with rounded numbers, so 69.0 and 150.0 and 21.5. okay, and then you for the second position you put comma, you separate by comma, and enter the value of this exactly with the same format in here. So you will, I'll just copy paste this just to show the format. So you just change the values of these with here, and then the same comma again with this one. So you can create as many positions as you like in here, so your deer will travel between those points. So in that case, I won't set it to custom, so I'll just delete those. Okay, and I'll actually set it to random. If you're setting it to random and you have pausing on and off, means if you set to custom and if it goes from one point to another, if you want your deer to wait on that point before going to another point, so you set pause on and off. For that, really, if you want to see the effect, there's a common not glitch but a problem, a known bug, that your object must be moving really fast, otherwise you won't see the effect that much. So this is not really a type of thing you would see with a deer. Maybe with a car you would see it. So the other one, if you set it to random, then you set it to radius value. That means your deer will randomly wander around within the radius set in here. So in that case, I set it to 10. The speed, how fast you want your deer to walk around. In that case, 3 seems reasonable, but again, it's a taste thing. So if you want faster or slower, you can set it to something else. Prop means if you want to add a prop, like let's say a tree, for example, every time when that animation plays, you want a tree to appear or something else to appear. Maybe if let's say in that case, the deer is eating, well, which is the animation in here, not idle, the eating one. So you could actually set a prop, like some food in front, and every time if you for the prop, let's say you have a prop, you have to put the prop in the content of the deer. So let's say you have a content in here and a food mesh, so name, and his name is food. So and then you type the name in here, and you actually, let's say that's your food. Okay, that's your food, and every time you want your deer to this to appear every time when your deer eats. And let's call this food. Okay, and let's say, we write it food, and let's get the position of this and type the position and rotation of this. So in that case, the position is these values, and rotation are these values. So we enter those values as vectorial as well, like in that case 71.5. But in that case, it would be better if you wrote the exact values, because when our deer is eating, we want it the mouth touching exact positions. So instead of random, and probably it would be better if we enter the exact values in here, 86. So basically the same process as we did above. So we enter those values in vector format. Same for the rotation values, which is in here. Okay, we could actually have a, let's say, munching sound, eating sound, and we put the sound in the content of our deer as well, and then we write the name of the sound. The sound has to be MP3 and cannot be any longer than 10 seconds. So we put the sound in here, let's say munching sound or eating sound in here. The sound volume is 1 is the maximum, and 0 is the minimum, so it can be between 0 and 1, 0.5, something like that. If we have a sound, we can have the sound going on all the time, or just plays once 10 seconds and then stops, or whatever is the 10 seconds or less. So these are the values. The last one I want to show is in here. You don't have to put one animation in here. You can put several animation, as in here, idle to animation. For example, you can put the deer idle animation, and then wait 4 seconds, and then deer eating starts, and then wait 4 seconds, and deer idle starts, and then wait 10 seconds, and deer eating starts. Then we put 0 so that it wouldn't look wrong, and it would go back to deer idle straight away. So we don't actually need to, as I said in the beginning, you could actually create another menu in here with the, let's say, stories or sequences, and then you could create animations from the animations provided in here, and create sequences more or less like the expressions for avatars. So in that case, what we changed in here is the loop pathfinder. So let's save this, okay, and we press save. Okay, just delete this, and then it says read in note cards. Until it's finished, you really can't do anything. Just it takes a little while. Once it's completed, it says finish reading note card, and then we can touch it, we can go to animations, and we can just, let's say, walk. As you can see, our deer is wandering around within 10 meters radius. And again, in that case, probably it would be hard to right click and touch something moving. Then column menu from chat line comes a handy, 82 menu. Okay, menu comes, we close this animation, and actually that's something different worked in here. See, we'll touch why you saw this. The reason you saw that one, there's another engine is working on the same channel, so it called another other channel instead of this channel. So that was the problem. So that's why I said probably if you have another one working on the same channel, you can just set the channel to 83 or any number, even 1700 something. And then we press, let's say, idle to, and it goes back to the first. This will happen. This is nothing to do with animation, it's just a glitch, and you know, I just right clicked and reset skeleton. It didn't really fix it. There's nothing wrong with animation or anything. It's just I think it's about rotation value of the previous animation. If there isn't really big difference on the rotation value of the joints between the first and second animation, then it keeps the first animation's joints. So if you press touch animation and then just let's go eating and then go to idle from here, that kind of fixed the problem. Actually, the other thing, as I said in the beginning, and the animation, if you press run, it doesn't work, and that's probably we put the animation name wrong in here. We'll just go to config file again. We'll find deer run in here. So as you can see, deer run is actually, there's no space. I put a space in here. So if you press here and then save again, and we have to go through the same thing again, read the note card, we have to wait until it's finished. Okay, once finished, right click, touch again, animation, and then we press run. As you can see now, that's working too.